if you can't let go of your aspirations, don't get kids. Because the worst thing for a kid is to grow up without parents. Here we are again. Shawn Rhoden has passed the age of 46, allegedly from a heart attack, but as of now, the autopsy report has not been released yet, so all we're doing here is speculating. Again, speculating that he had a heart attack. I've heard rumors that he had 2 heart attacks prior. I've heard that he had a heart attack due to stress, due to the rape allegations and the legal system that he had to navigate over the last couple of years, not being able to compete in the Mr. Olympia, losing a significant amount of income. All just speculation up until this point. The matter of the fact is that Shawn Rhoden has passed. I'm sure many of you guys have heard this already. And if it is from a heart attack, he's joining a long list of bodybuilders who died, well, only recently from a heart attack. Cali Muscle went into the hospital a couple days ago and had a heart attack also. Luckily, he was already at the hospital when he was diagnosed with having a heart attack at that time. And he was rushed in for immediate surgery to get a stent put in place. Now he's okay for the time being. Again, he's going to have to make some significant changes to his lifestyle to continue with his quality of life. Judging from what was said in his update video, Cali Muscle apparently had a 100% blockage of the coronary artery. I highly doubt that's exactly 100% blockage, but certainly significant enough for him to get admitted. What I would advise Cali Muscle to do is to give C.T. Fletcher a call and ask him how he experienced his heart health leading up to his transplant surgery, and certainly how the quality of life changed after having a heart transplant. These things are not something you have to mess with, and apparently Cali Muscle was walking around with edema around his feet and ankles for a very long time. For a very long time. That's not something you do. If you have health conditions, you address them. But it seems that a lot of bodybuilders in this space don't really address their health conditions. Instead, they say that they're okay and just keep trucking along, right? And they might say that they're natural, even though it's pretty obvious that they're sauced to the gills to the moon and back. Now, is this ever going to change? I highly doubt it. Right? How many bodybuilders need to have heart attacks for this fitness industry to wake up? It's never going to change, right? Bodybuilders are going to push the boundaries, and I think it's only going to get worse. I mean, over the last 2 years or so, how many bodybuilders have died of a heart attack? This lifestyle is going to be the end of us all. And I'm talking about the bodybuilder lifestyle, right? Force-feeding foods, eating the same foods day in, day out to the point you build up toxins, high caloric intake to the point you get non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I mean, over last year, guys, the amount of NAFLD that I've seen in this bodybuilding space, because people started reaching out to me after being transparent about my non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Alarming, yet nobody talks about it. Well, Dr. Dean St. Mark talks about it, and I talked about it extensively and took you guys on my journey on how to get that resolved. And in the meantime, I've gotten plenty of fibro scans and ultrasounds from a lot of people that you might have followed in the fitness industry, right? And I keep that all a secret to myself, between me and the patient, so to say. But fuck, it is common. It is so common. It is disgustingly common. And even though a lot of people like myself preach lower dosages and let the food do the job, in the end it will contribute to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, because all of that food is passing through your liver, and anything over superphysiological dosages of testosterone, especially the wide array of cocktail performance-enhancing drugs that we're all running at certain periods of the year, especially during contest prep or cutting phase in general. And that's just the liver, which will eventually regenerate and heal if you take the time to go through the process, like I did. And yes, I had to sacrifice a decent amount of muscle tissue during that time, which all came back by going back on cycle and continuing with my bodybuilding journey, albeit with a handicap. I was willing to undergo that process, and many of you guys are not, because you're going to lose all of your gains. And well, the peer pressure and the ego that comes along with bodybuilding, especially nowadays that social media is so prevalent, that prevents a lot of people from getting healthy. I'm going to let that sink in for a while. The ego and the peer pressure from social media is preventing a lot of you from getting healthy and staying healthy. because you want to be in shape all the time. Because people on social media, a lot of people you've never met and that are hiding behind anonymity, are edging you on to get back on cycle, as they did with me. Steve, I can't wait to see what you look like after you get back on the Sazul. And well, to be fair, I want to get back on cycle again, albeit with a handicap, so I don't get myself into a similar situation in the future. And I also realize that I have 2 cycles left, but I'm strong enough, right? I'm mentally strong enough to understand that people edging me on social media or tell me that I look like absolute dog shit when I came off cycle, those are not my friends. Those are not people that I know in my immediate surroundings. It's just noise. I'm strong enough to understand that, but many of you guys are not. Many of you guys start to believe the hype, right? You get into a phenomenal big shape, and even though it's detracting from your health, whether that's your heart health, your kidney health, your liver health, your skin health. I mean, how many bodybuilders have horrible skin nowadays? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, how many people in the bodybuilding space have such an inflated ego due to the social media? Well, people just praise them all the time and give them all the accolades, and right, you got an amazing physique and this and that, and you're so big, you're so strong, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. First time at the Mr. Olympia, you're top 5 or whatever. It gets to their head, and now their ego gets so big that they don't want to take breaks anymore, right? They need to stay in shape. They need to look phenomenal. They need to stay strong year round. And it just, right? Fuel on the fire until you burn out, literally, right? How long is it going to take before your physique says, fuck you? Here's a health condition forcing you to come off, and then the ego gets destroyed as the muscularity comes down. Get into depression, right? They can't follow their passion anymore, or the comments turn from accolades and praise to, well, the drive-by shit comments that I got for a couple months after I came off cycle and decided to take care of my health because, well, that's the only thing I own, right? I can sell my car, I can sell my house, but I can't sell my body. If I sell my body, I end up in that long line of bodybuilders that died, and I don't want to be among that list. You know what I realized over the last year or so? How futile it is to try to change this fitness industry. It feels absolutely futile. And besides the YouTube videos that are highly informative and basically life-changing information that get fuck all views. Fuck all views. Really, I work until 11 o'clock. Fuck all views. For something that I wish I had when I started this bodybuilding journey, trying to give back to you guys so you can make much better decisions than I was able to make because the information was so limited at the time I started my bodybuilding journey and when I got my hands dirty with performance-enhancing drugs. Doesn't get any views. And I do some silly battle of the steroid videos, right, where I outweigh all the pros and the cons in the medical literature. That gets views. And I'm wondering how many people are going to hurt themselves just by the information presented within, even though it's packaged up so nicely that you can still make a healthy choice. Right? That's one of the reasons why I stopped bodybuilding coaching for competitive athletes altogether. Because it doesn't matter what you do during your off season, all that health conscious approach goes completely out of the door during a contest prep. Because then they have their sponsors to represent, or they're vying for a pro card. Or they have to compete the next guy that had an issue with on social media. And right now they want to prove them wrong. And every fucking drug gets used to the point I have no idea how these athletes are standing on stage to begin with. Technically, when you look at the extensive list of pharmacology that they're on, even under my guidance when I'm trying to do this as safely as possible, the extensive list of what they're using, and some of them are not telling me exactly what they were using. They might have been using something extra on the sides, especially when you see the blood work a week after the show and you're like, dude, what the fuck were you doing? Right? Competitive bodybuilding is so fucking abusive that I wanted to have no part of it anymore. And people say that you can do this as healthy as possible. Yes, you can. Off-season bodybuilding with controlled calories you can do reasonably safely, right? You put a handicap on the amount of milligrams you use. You optimize every fucking vector that you can to facilitate muscle growth besides taking the anabolic androgenic steroids and perhaps some peptides on top of that. You optimize every vector, the training, the nutrition, the health supplementation, All these little things, right? The ubiquinol pre-workout, the vitamin C with each meal, controlling your electrolytes. Well, I mean, I mentioned it 1,000 times on the YouTube channel, but again, how many people are actually listening to that stuff? Maybe a couple thousand of you guys. I'm sure it's less than 10% of the subscribers that I have, right? And that's why I feel it's sometimes so futile because, this industry is not changing. Just a couple people, not the industry as a whole. Maybe a couple decades from now, but John Meadows was not able to change this fitness industry. Dante Trudell was not able to change this fitness industry. A couple people listen, but it's a handful of people. A handful of people that actually took the information that was presented to them and decided to change their lives and hopefully have a long-lasting and full and fulfilling life after that. But a lot of you are not going to do that. Unfortunately, no matter the information I present or anybody else presents to you, right, package it up all nicely in a YouTube video, many of you are not going to listen and just selectively hear to what you want to have enforced by a knowledgeable person. No, Trenbolone is good at lower dosages. Just selective hearing. Masteron's hair safe. Selective hearing. I really wonder why I'm working till 11 o'clock in the fucking evening every day when people are just continuing to die in this industry. Right? And these are only the people that we hear about. I've been in Thailand now for 15 years. 17 Thai people have died since I was here. And some of these people I talk to actively, try to talk them out of what they were doing. Don't listen. Don't listen. I've talked to people in the bodybuilding community that are undergoing health conditions right now. They're not listening. They just keep trucking along. Right? And then we can even make a list of people who are on social media actively trying to pursue their bodybuilding endeavors when their body it's literally falling apart in front of us. They're not listening. You just keep trucking along. Their friends dying, they keep trucking along. It's never going to change. I don't even know what to say. I love this sport. I love bodybuilding. I love being regimented. I love training hard. I love eating what I perceive to be healthy food, albeit that I'm eating the same food day in, day out, right? Because my stomach works well with those foods, and the cumulative effect of exposing myself to toxins from eating the same foods, right, day in, day out, I'm not really sure. I can do all the blood work in the world and test my heavy metals, which luckily came back all with almost undetectable, I would say. I'll make a separate video about that in the near future. Right? You're doing everything you can to stay as healthy as possible. And it doesn't matter if you do MRIs and CT scans and organ imaging and limit yourself to pharmacology that is still being used in clinical settings. The peer pressure is going to get to a lot of you because you're making money from this sport. You're making money being a part of the fitness industry, looking a certain way. And you get judged, or your performance, your income is literally correlated to how phenomenal you look. And when you take some time off, like I experienced, or other people experienced, you tear your bicep, you do a gyno surgery, or whatever else happens, you don't want to talk about it, which everybody is in their right to not talk about their health condition. But if you're an educator, you should just be as transparent as possible. Because if you're trying to educate this industry, you just open up and leave your ego out of it. And I know it's hard. I know it's very hard sometimes because the comments will be very condescending and outright disgusting to the point you wonder, how shit is your life for you to post something like that? If you're not mentally strong enough to deal with that stuff, don't go on social media, number one, right? Or disappear when you have to slim down. Luckily, back in the day, we were able to do that. I made a video about this. I'll link it here. Well, in the past, we would be able to slim down, right? Just disappear for a couple months and cover up in a hoodie, get fat, and deal with our health conditions, or at least clean out properly. And nobody would be able to scrutinize because we would not be on social media posting that we kind of look like ass compared to before. And now you're expected to post every day. You don't post for one day, people get upset. They start to DM you, bro, where's the next video? Bro, why are you not posting a physique update? Bro, when's your this, when is your that? It's like a fucking rope pulling contest. You get, instead of getting pulled in one direction, you get pulled apart. Almost. Let's just put it this way. You, on the other side of the screen, can do better. Let's just put it this way. You, as a fan of the sport, can do a lot better. You can be nicer in the comment section. You can also not try to blow smoke up another person's ass, right? Give him too much of these accolades to the point they start to believe it. Or kick a man when he's down. Because it hurts. The cumulative effect of all of those comments starts to add up and starts to hurt over time. And you can also just take a little bit longer and think about the comment that you want to post. How would I feel if I get a comment like this? I'd formulate it in a nice way. Or maybe say nothing at all. Just press the like button and go about your business. And if you do want to say something to the person that you want to support, just write them an email. Right? Just write them an email, say, I'm thankful for all of the content that you provide. I'm thankful for trying to change this fitness industry on your own free time, or contribute to the fitness industry by having an amazing physique, right, that you presented to Mr. Olympia or this competition, that competition. And we understand that it's taking a toll on your health. So when you do come off cycle, we will be here to support your income. Even when you don't look so good, we will continue to support you by using your discount codes or whatever you're affiliated with. Because it puts a lot of strain on the athlete, knowing that they have to stay in shape to make ends meet, to get paid. Your sales will go down and your revenue streams will go down if you don't look fucking freaky all the time. And yeah, again, it will take away from your health. Right? And if you're unable to deal with the stress, or you don't have additional income, besides the money that you make from the fitness industry, and you're completely codependent on your one single sponsor that you have, which is a horrible business move, but well, that's something everybody has to learn by themselves, right? Multiple revenue streams. Also made a video about that. No views. And all of that aside, it is completely up to you to take care of your own health. Completely up to you. And you can say that MRIs are expensive, or organ imaging is expensive, but it's not. It's not expensive at all. You put some money aside in the savings account. Also made a video about this. Also no views, surprisingly. So let me remind you guys again. Every time you buy steroids, or growth hormone, or ancillaries, or anything else that contributes to your bodybuilding journey, you double these expenses and put that in a fucking savings account. Be an adult for once in your life. Be a fucking adult and start saving some money so you can afford the MRIs. And you can afford the blood work and the organ imaging. Right? And do some deep tissue massage therapy so you can actually do some active release on all this tissue that gets more bound up and bound up and bound up to the point you tear your bicep or your chest or whatever else in half. It's common sense to me. It has been common sense since I was 15 years old. I can buy a car with this money, and a very nice car. Right? And even pay the astronomical import taxes that are here in Thailand and buy a really nice car and drive that around, show off, fuel my ego. No, that money is in the bank account accumulating for when I need to do more organ imaging in the future. And I already handicapped myself with limited calories and limited dosages. And I probably got 2 good cycles in me left, and then I'm going to have kids and I'm going to go down to TRT and have a contingency plan in place, right, which I can just work from home without having to subject myself to, right, the pressures of social media, so to say. So I already have a huge contingency plan in place, which bodybuilders certainly need to do, because you can't compete forever, because your body will eventually give out. And then you will get replaced with the next guy, the new generation of bodybuilders who are willing to push boundaries and get themselves unhealthy, right, for all the trophies that come along with competitive bodybuilding. All you can do is control your variables. And a couple things you have to keep in place is just save your fucking money, putting in a savings account. It pains me every time I had a client and I would write him a protocol for a competition. and several $1,000s worth of drugs. And they would be willing to do blood work every month, right? Just for my comfort and their comfort, that everything was going on track and not getting to in this, tremendous unhealthy state, which still competitive bodybuilding, you're still fucking unhealthy. And then I would ask them, hey, can you do like a 24-hour urine collection test or go into the MRI or do some ultrasounds? Yeah, after the show. Every fucking time. Hundreds of competitors. Every single time. Same fucking answer. Please do a 24-hour urine collection check. Your creatinine is too high. Your cystatin C is pushing up to the top level. I'll do it after the show. And we'll never stop, dude, because there's always some guy with the most insane protocols, and there's a competitor on the other side of that wanting to win. At all costs. At all costs. To the point they leave somebody behind, like a daughter or kids or whatever. They leave people behind because their aspirations got the best of them. And you don't have that excuse because, well, I know a couple of you are high-level competitors, which are probably not going to watch this video because it's too confrontational. But many of you guys are not competitors, as am I not a competitor. I have no aspirations to compete because I realized after my first cycle that I did not have the genetic makeup to compete at the highest level. My shape is not that good. My insertions are not that great. My response to drug is not that good. My blood work changes are too severe, allowing me or preventing me from pushing the boundaries and the dosages up too high. I have coronary artery disease in my family, so I don't even want to take that chance, right? Luckily, my MRI came back good. I will have to do a CT scan with a contrast in the future, do a calcium score test, get all of that out of the way. Also, right, just for ease of mind, because I'm still a hypochondriac. At least I'm doing it. You should do it as well. Put some money aside to get it fucking done. No excuses. No excuses. And if you don't have what it takes to have a phenomenal response to drugs, just quit while you're ahead. I know multiple people who never even bothered because they did all the organ imaging and they realized, okay, my organs are not fully functional, right? I wish I did it, but I didn't. I did that later on. And now that I did, and I realized all of my organs are okay, with the handicap, I feel that it's safe enough to continue with the practices that I've put in place so far. I know other people that did organ imaging and they saw something wrong and they decided not to bother. They quit while they were ahead. That's very, very commendable. Anyway, I think I'll better wrap it up before I start to ramble for the rest of this video. So a couple things you need to do for yourself. Get financially secure. I made many videos about things you can put into place to get financially secure. It's up to you. It's your responsibility to get financially secure. And when you're financially secure, you can do all of the imaging and health screening, all preventative, so you can continue with your bodybuilding journey without it detracting from your quality of life, short term and long term. Yes, it's going to be expensive. And by going on performance enhancing drugs doesn't mean you only get to spend money on performance enhancing drugs. You need to spend money on all the preventative stuff to keep yourself healthy. You can't just go by the bullshit that's on PubMed. That's studied in petri dishes, in vivo, in vitro, animal studies. It's part of the puzzle, but it's not the full puzzle. If you want the full puzzle, you do the blood work, you do the MRI, you do the CT scan, you do your genetic testing, you do your cancer marker screening, and you do the ultrasounds and whatever else, man, and biopsy if it's required. Don't stick your head in the sand. Just get it fucking done, right? Get financially secure and then get it fucking done. It's not that difficult. You just have to work for it. And the insane amount of dedication that you need to be a bodybuilder, you can easily move into another venture of making money and then taking that money and moving that into organ imaging. It's so weird that I have to say this. It should be common knowledge, but it's not. Somehow it's not common knowledge, right? Taking Trenbolone year round, that's common knowledge, right? All these pros are taking phenomenal dosages. That's what I have to do. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. You need to get financially secure. You get your head out of your ass and start taking care of yourself. That's all you need to do. Because the only people you really have to please are the people that love you. real people, right? Your partner, your children, your parents. Those are the only people you have to please. You don't have to please anybody on social media. Really, they will fuel your income because they like you. If you have a nice personality, they will fuel your income whether you're big or not. And if you can't make any money when you're big, you become informative or funny or find a niche. There's always a way to make money. Most of you are self-employed anyway if you're a bodybuilder. So you'll find a way to make money and continue to make money, whether that's in the fitness industry or somewhere outside of it. You don't have to please anybody on social media. Don't let this pressure get to you. Don't be walking around like a freak 24/7 thinking that's the only way you can supply your income or provide for your family. It's not the case. If that's really your mentality, man, you better write a will, dude. You better put something in your will to make sure that your family, right? Instruct your friends to make a GoFundMe account just ahead of time, because you will not live long enough to see your children grow up. If you're not quitting while you're ahead and do all this imaging and just be an adult and say, okay, I got sick. Bodybuilding is bye-bye. I'm going to stop. I'm going to take care of my family and watch my children grow up and take care of my parents until they pass away, right? I'm not going to be the one that passes away before his parents or her parents does. And if you're not willing to take that adult step, shame on you, dude. Shame on you. You're leaving your family behind for your selfish bodybuilding aspirations that you couldn't let go. Well, I'll leave it at that, guys. I'm starting to ramble now, but shit's starting to piss me off now. I love this sport, but I would not hesitate to give all this shit up and just quit bodybuilding altogether and focus on my family and be a good husband, be a good dad, and find another revenue stream. It's not rocket science. It's just common sense. And it's okay to give up a couple things to ensure that you're there for your family and watch your children grow up. And don't let your aspirations get the best of you. And if you can't let go of your aspirations, don't get kids. Because the worst thing for a kid is to grow up without parents. Kids need guidance. And if you put somebody in this world, you better make sure that you see this through, see their journey through, right? All the way to the end, to the point they can take care of themselves. And hopefully instill some values in the process. All right, food for thought, guys. Take care of yourself. I wish you guys all the best. I'll see you in the next video.